Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. Uh, I got a story I'm going to share with you guys. This is going to be another reaction video. This is coming from Fox 45 Baltimore, which if you're interested in viewing the longer version of this particular video I'm getting ready to play here, feel free to do so. It's Fox 45 Baltimore. Now, the story I'm going to play is a shorter version, because a shorter version has everything that I need to get my point across on this particular story. Now, this story is a very sad story. It's basically about a 17-year-old who was in possession of a allegedly stolen firearm, and Baltimore police try to apprehend him, but he did not obey their orders. He continued to run, and as a result, he got injured. So let's play the story and let's see what's going on here.
From the mother defending her 17-year-old son, who police say ran from them carrying a gun. Her son facing several charges after a Baltimore police officer shot him earlier this month. Fox 45's Keith Daniels spoke with the boy's mother. And Keith, what is she saying about these charges and her son's role in all of this?
Well, Kai, first off, the mother admits her son had a gun. Now, police say it was a stolen 9mm handgun, but tonight, her questions about the shooting and the charges that follow.
Before this woman ask any type of questions, I got a question too. I got a question for the mother. My question is, at 17, what the hell is he doing with a firearm? That's my question. Let's keep going.
I'm grateful that he's still alive.
Kiara Franklin is a mother focused on the criminal charges against her son, 17-year-old Makai Franklin. The teen shot by a Baltimore police officer. The mother not understanding why it happened.
He never turned around. He never lift the gun up or raised it at the officer.
Franklin speaking.
Here's what I don't understand. For starters, I'm not understanding the lack of parental accountability here. And on top of that, I'm not understanding, again, I don't understand why at age 17 he's even in possession of a firearm. And I'm not understanding why it is that when law enforcement try to apprehend him and they order him to put down the firearm, he neglected to listen to orders. I don't understand that. So I guess we all don't understand nothing in this situation. Let's keep going.
Out one day after prosecutors charged the teen with several charges, including first-degree assault and firearm offenses. The 17-year-old charged as an adult in a shooting caught on a police body-worn camera.
Stop! Put the gun down! Put the gun down!
The shooting happened in the Shipley neighborhood in southwest Baltimore, May 11th. 5 days later.
Okay, folks, I want you guys to take a close look at that red circle. I mean, you can see he's attempting to flee the scene. And later on, they do magnify the picture of the firearm that's in his hand, that allegedly he stole. So apparently, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, even if he was in possession of this particular firearm because it was strictly for self-defense, I mean, and if I were to go on a limb and say that the news people are lying, the Baltimore law enforcement's lying, and that firearm was not stolen, if I were to go on a limb and give this young man the benefit of the doubt in this particular situation, and just for argumentative purposes, let's go ahead and do that. So with all that being said, I'm fairly sure nobody in his family, to include his mother, bothered to sit down with him and educate him on the responsibility of being a firearm holder. I'm fairly sure there were no trips taken to the local firearm range to where he can practice his aim, to where he can learn how to load and unload, and and practice his aim. And on top of that, I'm gonna add one more thing, which is very important. And just judging off of this story, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that there was nobody in this young man's family, to include his mother, that sat down with him and educated him on how to conduct himself in the presence of law enforcement. Like when law enforcement asks you to do something, you know, you put down whatever it is you're doing and you comply to their orders, and then you carry on afterwards. And if you feel that what they wanted you to do was unjust, you feel it was unjust, maybe you feel you may have been discriminated against, that's the time to where you can go and you can file a case against the city police department. But I'm pretty sure that nobody in his family, his mother included, educated him on any of that kind of stuff, despite the amount of cases like this that we're seeing. I mean, sadly, stories like this appear to be becoming more and more of a norm amongst people in this age group. Let's keep going.
Investigators released the video. The officer and Mackay in a foot chase after police say the officer thought Mackay might be armed. At one point, circled in red, the gun is seen clearly in the video. Then the officer opens fire. The teen shot in the back, but survived.
My son wasn't.
Okay, before this woman runs her mouth, I'm gonna run my mouth. First and foremost, I wish the best for this young man. I wish for him to gain a full recovery, and I'm hoping after, I'm also hoping this young man learns a very valuable lesson in this situation. The lesson that needs to be learned is pretty obvious. When you engage in a life of criminology, only bad things can happen to you. You can either lose functions of your limb, you can lose your life, you can lose your freedom. And another lesson that he needs to learn, that this young man needs to learn, is whenever law enforcement approaches you or they attempt to apprehend you, the best thing that you can do in order to escape unharmed is to comply to their orders and do as they tell you to do. Even though you feel they're wrongfully, even though you might feel that law enforcement might be in the wrong for asking you to do certain things, the best thing you can do at the moment is do what they ask you, and then you can always go later and file a complaint, file a lawsuit against the city. Let's see what this mother's got to say.
Supposed to be gunned down the way he was.
What about the fact that your son had a gun?
He had a.
No. You know what? I agree with this woman. This young man was not supposed to be sprayed up. His back was not supposed to be sprayed up. I totally agree. But due to him not being compliant to law enforcement orders, due to him having a firearm visibly in his hand, like I said, when you engage in life of criminology, bad things happen. Let's keep going.
Gun because he was scared for his life. We live in Baltimore City.
The debate over the shooting still ongoing amid.
Okay, I got interrupted again. This young man was scared for his life because of where he lives. You know what? Again, I'll give this young man the benefit of the doubt. Now, obviously, at 17, you're still not supposed to be carrying a firearm, the last time I knew. But if he was scared for his life, and that's why he had possession of a firearm, my question then is going to become, why didn't he have that firearm tucked away somewhere? Like perhaps in a holster? Why was he running down the street with the firearm in his hand? like he was gonna do something to somebody. Let's keep going.
Gun violence involving youth, raising questions for some over parent accountability, including Franklin's for her son.
How am I accountable for what he has on him? That's not bad parenting. That's not the parent's fault. How can you blame that on the parent? My son's 17.
I gotta interrupt again. As you guys heard her, you know, what's happening to this young man is not at all a result of bad parenting, according to what this lady is trying to tell us. My opinion about that is yes, it is very much bad parenting. It is lousy parenting. I mean, all I'm hearing from this woman is what I'm sensing from this woman is a huge lack of accountability. Now, granted, she's absolutely correct. She can't monitor every single move that the young man makes. She's absolutely correct. I'll give her that. However, when you raise your children a certain way, your children, for the most part, will turn out a certain way. Now, having she raised her son a little better, I'm fairly sure that either A, he wouldn't even have possession of a firearm, or if he did, he would have been a lot more responsible with how he carried it. I mean, the firearm most likely wouldn't be in his hand. It would have been tucked away in a holster. And again, if law enforcement, at the minimum, if law enforcement would have attempted to apprehend him, as they did, as you guys saw earlier in this clip, rather than running with the firearm in his hand, he would have calmly and collectively done exact stops and complied to whatever orders that law enforcement asked him to do. And then he could have carried on with the rest of his life, whatever that would have looked like. Let's keep going.
Years old. He's not a 5-year-old little kid. You feel me? So at the end of the day, there's only but so much.
No, we don't feel you at all. I'm disappointed in you, woman. You're setting that young man up for failure. I mean, life as a young black man is going to be hard. Life for him is going to be hard enough as it is because it is what it is when you're a black man. But I feel this woman is setting this young man up for failure. So no, I don't feel you at all. I'm disappointed. I'm disgusted. Let's keep going.
I can do.
Well, Makai is out of the hospital. He's been moved to central booking at this hour where he's waiting on a hearing that will decide whether or not his case be moved to juvenile court. We're live tonight. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
Okay, again, this was a very sad story. A huge lack of accountability coming from his mother, as you guys heard. And as far as it goes for this 17-year-old, most likely upon his 18th birthday, rather than getting to celebrate his 18th birthday with his friends, with his girlfriend, rather than going to his favorite restaurant for his 18th birthday, guess what he's going to get to do most likely when he turns 18? Most likely, when he turns 18, he's going to graduate from juvie to adult jail. And, like I said, I'm not no connoisseur at law here. I'm just a YouTuber with a little bit of common sense that's presenting you a story. And what I predict is going to happen to this young man is he's definitely going to serve some jail time. It is very possible, and most likely he will be charged as an adult. It is very possible that he will have a felony on his record. It is very possible that he will serve a little bit of time in the penitentiary. And, you know, I'm hoping for this young man. I mean, he's 17 right now. He still has his whole entire life to live. He's got a lot of growing to do. And I feel bad for this young man. I feel bad for him because his mom was a lousy parent. And clearly, the men that were in his life weren't about shit either. I'm just speculating. So I feel bad for this young man. And I'm hoping that I'm hoping that what happened to him in the hands of Baltimore law enforcement, he learned a very valuable lesson. And moving forward, I'm hoping that he finds it within himself to not want to continue a life of criminology, and he decides to do the right thing and live a righteous life, and maybe pick up a trade, learn a skill, learn a craft, be a YouTuber, and make lots of money, or make at least enough money to survive and stay out the streets. So again, I wish this young man best of luck. I also wish him a full recovery, and I'm very disappointed in this young man's mother. I would love for you all to leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this particular video. And let me know how you feel about what I just said on this video. Alright folks, I'm going to check you guys later. You guys know what to do at this point. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so right now. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and give me a thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm. And on that note, I'll check you all later. Have a blessed one.